Hello everyone, today we are going to learn two-dimensional array in the Java. So we can define array like this, okay, and we can initialize the array like this, and suppose 2 is the size of the array, okay. So we have declared this array, this is 1D array, and we have initialized this array, and we have provided size as a 2 number, okay. Size of the array will be 2. So similarly, we can define 2D array. So 2D array will have two times this open and close bracket. Then we have array name. Okay. Then we have new. Then we have int. Then this is number of rows in the array, and this is number of column in the array. Okay. So we have to provide number of column also. Okay. So 2D array are basically array of arrays. Okay. And 2D array will be in tabular form like student array, or this array will have uh, data in the tabular form like age, phone number, roll number, okay, and these are the row numbers, and columns will be like uh, first student, second student data, and third student data, okay. And we can have age, phone number, and roll number here, and first student data, second student data, third student data here. So this is data in the tabular form for students. So at line number 3 we have declare and define initialize the array with the default values. Default values of this array will be 0 only. So we can print also this array system. Suppose we want to print second student data, okay, like 1 0, okay, 1 0 plus this is string concatenation, okay, as array of 1 comma 1. Okay, so let's run this program and see the output. So initially array is declared and initialized with the default value 0. So here 0 will be printed, here 0 will be printed. So at line number 3 we have declared and initialized the array with the default value 0. This is array, this is 2D array. So at line number 3 we have declared and initialized the array with the default value 0. This is the array, and this array will have reference to this array, and this array also have each element of this array will have array, because 2D array is nothing but array of arrays. So 0th element of this array will have another array, this array. It has 0th column and it has first column, okay, one column. And second element of this array will have another array, and in first, this is 0th row, this is 1th index row, and this index will also have this array, 0th column and first index column. Okay, so here at line number 5 we are printing array of 1. Array of 1 will be nothing but here, this is array of 1 and 0th index number value. So 0th index we will have 1 value, 0 value, okay. Then we are printing array of 1. Array of 1 will be nothing but here, this is array of 1, and we are printing first column value. So array of 1 will be nothing but this thing, and we are printing first index value, so it will be 0. So in the output box 0 0 will be printed, separated by space. So this is how today array is working, and we are randomly accessing the values in the array, because array allows random access, okay. So using a for loop we can print all the values in the array, like 4 size of the array, number of rows in the array will be nothing but 2 I plus plus, and here we can provide I is number of rows, so number of rows will be I, and here we can provide I, okay. So we are iterating through the rows and we are printing column values, okay, first column value and second column value. Let's run this program and see the output. So here we have declaring and initialize the array with the default value 0. Okay, so this array is present. Array of 0 will have another array which has columns like 0 and 0, and array of 1 will have another array uh, like array of 0 and array of 0. Okay, so here we have declared and initialize I equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. 2 is the number of rows in the array. So initially I will be 0 and 0 less than 2, this condition will be true. So we will execute line number 6. Here we are printing 0, I will be 0, 0 array of 0 will be this thing. Then we are accessing 0th element. Array of 0 will be this thing, this array, and 0th element will be 0 only. Okay, then space, then array of initially I is 0. So array of 0 will be this thing, and we are accessing row number 1 index. So row number 1 index will be 0 value. Okay, so 0 space 0 will be printed. Then we will increment I, since we are running into a loop. We will increment our I here, I plus plus. So I will become 1, and 1 less than 2, this condition is true. Okay, so we will execute line number 6. So array of I 1 1 0. Okay, so array of 1 will be this thing, array of 1 will be this thing, array of 1 0 will be 0. Okay, and array of 1 will be, array of 1 will be 1, it will be 0. So 0 space 0 will be printed. Okay, then I will become 2, I plus plus will happen, I will become 2. 2 less than 2, this condition will be false. 2 less than 2, so we will come out this for loop, and line number 8 will be executed. Okay, so this is how we have printed all the elements in the array, and further we can further optimize this code. Okay, here we are printing columns here. Okay, first column, then second column. So we can print these columns using a loop like 4 less than 2. Number of columns in the array is 2 only, j plus plus. We don't need to provide array of j here. Array of j will be printed by line, because we are traversing through each row, and for each row we are traversing through each column. Okay, it will have some space like plus some space, and here new line. Okay, and this can be printf percentage as, because this addition will become a string only. Okay, or we can remove this concatenation. This value will be integer value, so percentage d we can write, and we can provide the space here. So what we are doing, we are initializing and declaring this array, and we are iterating through each row in the array, and we are iterating through each column in the array, and we are printing uh, element in the array, and we are providing new line statement here after traversing through each column for a row in the array. For the next row, we will print the values in the new line. Okay, let's run this program and see the output. So what's happening at line number 3? We have declared and initialized 2D array. Okay, so 2D array is initialized with the default value 0 0 and 0 0. And at line number 9, we are declaring and initializing I. So I will be 0 initially. 0 less than 2, this condition is true. So line number 6 will be executed, and again here at line number 6 we are declaring and initializing j. So initially j will be 0, j will be 0. 0 less than 2, this condition will be true. So we are accessing I 0 and j is 0. So I 0. Okay, I is 0, and this is j. 0 is j and 1 is j. Okay, this is number of rows 0 and 1, and these are number of column j equal to 0, j equal to 1. Okay, so I equal to 0. For I equal to 0, we have come here and we are accessing j as 0. So array of 0, then j of 0 will be this value 0. So 0 will be printed with this space. Okay, so 0 is printed with this space. So we are iterating through the loop. Again, we will go into the this j for loop. So j plus plus j will become 1. So now j is 1. 1 less than 2. This condition is true. Okay, this condition is true. So we will execute line number 7. Area of I and j. Area of I is 0. So 0 will be here. 0. Area of 0 will be here. Then I is equal to 0. Okay, and j equal to 1. So area of I equal to 0. 0 will give us this array, because two-dimensional arrays are nothing but array of array. Each element in this array will have array itself. Okay, so we have reached here this array and j equal to 1. So 1. For here it will print 0 value. So it will print 0. So 0 is printed. So now since we are iterating the loop, we will do increment of j. So j will become 2. Okay, 2. 2 less than 2, this condition is false. So we will come out this for loop. Okay, we are out of this for loop, and line number 9 will be executed. We are just providing new line statement. So our cursor will come here to the new line. Okay, so we have reached at the new line. Okay, and since we are out of this for loop, we don't have any local variable j, because j was limited to this for loop block only, and we are out of this j for loop. So we don't have j variable here. Okay, so now we will increment I. Okay, I will be incremented. I will become 1. 1 less than 2, this condition is true. Okay, so we will execute line number 6, and in line number 6 we are declaring and initializing j. So j will become 0. 0 less than 2, this condition is true. So line number 7 will be executed. At line number 7, what we are doing, area of I and j. Area of I is 1. So this is array, and area of 1 will be this thing. Okay, and area of 1 has another array, this array. So area of 1 j is equal to 0. So area of 1 will be this array, and 0th column will be 0. So this value will be printed. Okay, so 0 is printed. Since we are iterating in the loop, again we will go here, and j will be incremented. J will become 1. Okay, j is 1 now. 1 less than 2, this condition is true. Okay, so line number 7 will be executed. So it will be printing array of I and j. Array of I is equal to 1. So I will be 1 here. I will be 1 here. And j will be 1. See, j is 1. Array of 1 and 1 will be 0. Okay. So it will print 0 only. So we will increment j. J plus plus will happen. So j will become 2. 2 less than 2, this condition is false. 2 less than 2, this condition is false. So we will come out this for loop j. So j was the local variable in this for loop. So j will be gone. Okay, and line number 9 will be executed. So at line number 9, what we are doing, we are saying go to the next line. Our cursor was here. Okay, we will go to next line. Okay, so we will go to next line, and again since this for loop is executed, so we will do I plus plus. So I will become 2. So I is 2 now. Okay, I is 2, and we will check this condition. Since we are running into the loop, 2 less than 2, this condition is false. Okay, since this condition is false, we will come out this for loop also, bigger for loop, I for loop, and line number 11 will be executed. Okay, so we have printed elements in the 0, and yeah, this is the end of the program. Similarly, we can provide values in the array also. Like suppose initially I had a variable value equal to 1, and I can provide values in the array like this, or say this only. I can iterate through each element in the array, in this 2D array, and I can update the value like array of ij equal to value and value plus plus. Okay, so I'm iterating through each element in this array, and I am updating value of value elements in this array as a value. Okay, so elements in the array initially they were with the default value 0, and I'm updating default value 0 as a value number. Okay, so let's run this program and see the output. So at line number 3, this array will be executed, and this array will have default values as 0 initially. Okay, this is array has two rows, 0 and 1, and each element in this array will have another array. So zeroth element in this array will have this array, and first element in this array will have this array. Okay, so two-dimensional arrays are nothing but array of arrays. So initially value will be 1. Okay, so this line of code will be executed and value is 1. For initially I will be 0 and I less than 2. So initially I will be 0 for this for loop, and I 0 less than 2, this condition is true. Okay, so line number 8 will be executed. Here we are defining j. So initially j will be 0, 0 less than 2, this condition will be true. Okay, so we will execute line number 9. At line number 9, what we are doing, array of array of ij. So this array of ij, I is 0 and j is 0. So array of 0 will be this thing, and j is also 0. So array of 0 will be this array only, and j equal to 0, so this element. So we are updating this element with the value. See here value, and value is 1. So this element array of 0 will be this thing, and zeroth column. So this element will become value as 1. Okay. So this is updated. It has become 1. And at line number 10, what we are doing, we are incrementing the value plus plus. This is known as a post increment. So value will become 2. This value will be updated and it will become 2. Since we are running through this for loop, so j will be incremented, j will become 1, and 1 less than 2, this condition is true. Okay, so line number 9 will be executed. At line number 9, what will happen, we are assigning value to array of ij. So I equal to 0, 0 and j equal to 1. So array of 0 will be this thing, and array of 0 will be this thing, and j is 1. So this element. So at this element we are assigning value. So value is nothing but 2. So 2 will be assigned to this element. So 2 is assigned to this element. Again, then we are doing value plus plus. Okay. So value will become 3. Okay. Here it will become 3. Okay. C3. Since we are running into the loop, again j will be incremented and j will become 2. Okay. 2 less than 2. This condition is false. So we will come out this for loop. Okay. So we are out of this for loop, and I will be, so j is gone because we are out of this for loop, the inner for loop. Okay. So I will be incremented because we are running into the ith for loop. So I will become 1. This condition 1 less than 2. This condition is true. So we will execute line number 8. So j will be defined. So j will be defined with 0th value initially 0 less than 2. This condition is true. Okay. So we will execute line number 9. So array of I will be 1 and j is equal to 0. So array of I equal to 1, this one, array of I equal to 1 and j equal to 0. So array of I equal to 1 and j equal to 0. So this element. and we are updating value at this element, so value is 3 only. So value is 3. Okay, and we are incrementing value here at line number 10, so value will become 4. Okay, so we are, since we are running into the loop, and initially we will increment the j. Okay, since we are running into the loop, so j will become 1, c1, 1 less than 2, this condition is true, so we will execute line number 9, array of ij. So array of I is equal to 1, so array of I is 1. Okay, this one through, and array of I also has this array, and j equal to 1, so array of I is equal to this array, and j is here. So this value will be updated. So value right now, see, area of I is equal to value, so value is 4, so this element will become 4. Okay, so see, this is 4 now, and we are doing value plus plus, so value will become 5. Okay, so value will become 5. Okay, since we are running into the loop again, j will be incremented and j will become 2. So 2 less than 2, this condition is false, this condition is false, so we will come out this for loop, inner for loop. Okay, we will come out inner for loop, and I will be incremented, so I will become 2. Okay, I will become 2. Okay, so 2 less than 2, for I 2 less than 2, this condition is false, so we will come out the outer for loop also. So line number 13 will be executed. Okay, 13, line number 13 was a blank statement, so line number 14 will be executed, and in this for loop we are doing nothing, we are just printing the values at the each element in this 2D array. Okay, so 1 2 1 space 2, then 3 space 4 will be printed, because we have space here, and after iterating all the elements in a row, we are providing line break also, new line break. Okay, 1 2 and 3 4 will be printed, so first row 0 and 1 and 2 will be printed. Okay, for the second row, for the first index row, 3 and 4 will be printed, 3 and 4. Okay, so this was all about 2D array. I hope you understood it.